So, video completely out of left field today, but much more in line with my username. I love Coca-Cola. I know I shouldn't admit this as a dentist, also not sponsored. Just thought this was something that was quite interesting I saw the other day. I love fizzy drinks. It is something that I probably need to deal with at some point, but really love fizzy drinks. Coca-Cola, definitely. I'm going to say that word a lot during this. I'm going to try not to get too annoying, but it's definitely one of my favourites. I also love it as a mixer. And so when I saw in Marks & Spencer's Coca-Cola signature mixers, which I hadn't seen before, it's quite an interesting idea. Essentially, I think Coca-Cola has decided that they want to try and cash in on some of the market that's controlled by Fever-Tree and Fentimans and those sorts of things, and actually make a mixer specifically designed for alcohol. So a little bit of history. Coca-Cola's been around for a very long time, as you might have noticed. And even back in 1896, they started running an advertising campaign that was entitled That Goes Well with Coke. And the idea was, yeah, you can mix your alcohol with Coke. Everyone knows Jack and Coke, everyone knows vodka and Coke. Don't mix vodka and Coke. It's, if you're drinking vodka, if you're drinking vodka that you want to mix with other things, there are some really genuinely lovely vodkas out there. But if you're mixing vodka that you want to mix with other things, you shouldn't be drinking vodka. That's just trying to hide the taste of alcohol amongst other things. But there are genuinely lovely vodkas out there. So I really encourage you to go and try some really lovely sort of single distillation vodkas. Yeah, so Jack and Coke, whiskey and Coke, bourbon and Coke. Those are all the whiskey bases. Cognac and Coke, brandy and Coke. Brandy and Coke sort of, it's a drink that I always associate with my parents' generation, but it's actually pretty good. So they've released these signature mixers, which have been blended by mixologists. Mixologists have helped to blend these, and they've added in a few extra ingredients just to try and bring out extra flavors. They still want it to taste like Coke. I haven't tried these yet, so I'm hoping they do taste like Coke. I hope that what I'm saying is actually something similar to what we're going to experience. But they've blended them with other ingredients to try and make them taste like Coke, but more in one direction or another. A little bit of background, one of my favourite cocktails it's the most simple cocktail ever. It's Lagavulin, 16 and Coke. Equal mixes. People often are a little bit snobby about the idea of mixing whiskey with Coke, particularly single malt Scotch. But the idea of mixing a Lagavulin Coke where it's just one-on-one, and it almost becomes like a Scotch liqueur. So you get a slight bit of fizz, you get a little bit of sugar. It's got to be proper full-fat Coke, none of this diet nonsense, because the diet just doesn't work. But a little bit of sugar mixes with the alcohol, brings out some different notes, and that smokiness and the sweetness is brilliant. And that's pretty special. So actually, that's one of the ones I'm going to save right to the end just to see how this one works with one of the other ones. There are 4 different Coca-Cola signature mixers. There is smoky, spicy, herbal, and woody. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try each of them, see what I think of the flavors on their own, and then try mixing them and see what we find. So I hope you haven't turned off already. And I realised this is not one of my usual videos, but this is something that I'm really passionate about. And for years, I've been meaning to do a piece on which whiskies pair with which colours. Now that you get so many, you get the Fever-Tree, you get the Fentimans, you get Karma Cola. I've seen so many independent colas, and the idea of finding one that mixes really well with drinks, it's been something that I've been meaning to do for ages. So actually, these guys have just made it a little bit easier on me than having to go out and find that myself. So let's try and let's see what we find. So we're going to start with the smoky one. I don't know how I feel about the paper over the top, because it's just a little bit annoying, but okay. Properly good and fizzy. So this one has ylang ylang, amberette seed, Peru balsam, oak extract, and guaiac wood. Guaiac wood? Please tell me on my pronunciation in the comments. Mixed by Max Venning, who is a mixologist. I'll find out which bar he's from and put it in the video. Yeah, it does what it says on the tin. Smells like a smoky Coke. On its own, it's nice. I'm not sure it would be... I don't know that any of these are meant to replace normal Coke as a regular drink. I think they are all designed to be mixed with other things. But on its own, it smells like smoky Coke. It's lovely. It's well done, but I don't know that it would be a go-to replacement for my fizzy drink desires. Okay, so they recommend trying this one with bourbon or with a dark rum. I'm not sure. Well, I guess they're not going to suggest mixing it with a smoky whiskey, because if you mix a smoky whiskey with a smoky Coke and the two different smokes don't come together beautifully, it might be a little bit odd. So I'm assuming that's why they're not recommending doing this with a smoky whiskey. But I've got Noah's Mill bourbon. That was much more than I meant to pour. I don't want to have to drink all of that as a mixer on TV, so cheers. At cask strength, which I always forget. Yeah, 57.15 by volume. So quite a hit, but beautiful bourbon. I think this is a bit of a limited batch situation. I know this is sacrilegious to be mixing this with Coke, but I don't have another just normal bourbon. I've got some rye, I've got some bits and pieces, but actually just in terms of just a straightforward bourbon, this is the only one that I've got, so I feel a little bit bad for this, but let's try it. So we've got a slightly better measure. I'm not aiming to overwhelm it with the Cokes. You'll see, haven't gone for a huge mix. That is so much better than just the Coke on its own, because the sweetness of the bourbon balances out the smokiness. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's like everything you wanted a Jack and Coke to be and never quite was. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to go with smaller measures. So I've got 8 different whiskey or 8 different drinks to try. And I can see this being the end of me. Also going to get some water. Water. And a clean glass. Right. Rum. This is Morby rum from Mount Gay. Don't know if you can actually get this in the UK. This I got from Barbados last time I was there. It is rum distilled with Morby bark. So it's not, I think it may just about fall into the spiced rum category, but it's, I don't know if it counts as spiced rum if you actually distill it with distillate or whether you add it afterwards. But anyway, this is Morby rum, still Morby bark. Morby is a bark of a tree that they make a cordial out of in the Caribbean. I think it would be fair to say it's an acquired taste. Right, sensible mixes this time then. That's a more sensible amount. It's interesting. The rum kind of loses some of the smokiness. Actually doesn't taste anything like a smoky with the Morby rum. It's nice. It smells... it. Again, I'm sort of getting the sense this is kind of... You know when you mix a drink and you think this isn't quite what I wanted? And so far both of these have been the better version of what I'd normally expect. So, yeah, it's nice. This is, however, the first one, so I'm going to try not to get too overexcited, because it might just be this is the only good one. Let's have a look. Right, so that's smoky cokey. Let's go for spicy. So, lime, ginger, rosemary, jasmine, and jalapeno. It's quite an interesting mix. This one is from A. Cheer and P. Guy. Again, I'll put it in the video exactly where they're from. Fresh glass. Remember how I said I wasn't sure that all of them would be as good as the first one? It's got a fascinating smell. I can taste the lime, I can taste the jalapeno. Just don't know if I'd go to this as a go-to drink. See how it mixes. So their recommended mixes with these are aged tequila or a Scotch. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on that one on its own. It's all right. It's not bad. It doesn't taste bad. And I can see all the flavours in there. I just don't know whether it's exactly what I'd be after. I'm going to try this first of all with tequila. I've got a tequila and I've got a mezcal and I've got a whiskey. So this is Altos aged tequila. Tequila, not one of my strengths, to be honest. I know I like it. I know a little bit about it. I can't tell you a huge amount about this one. Never tried tequila and Coke. I don't know whether they've just suggested tequila because jalapenos and tequila. Tastes like watered down tequila. It's really interesting, actually. The tequila completely overwhelms the Coke. I've never tried tequila and Coke before. Don't know whether that happens with most Cokes. But basically, it tastes nice because it tastes like slightly less fiery tequila. But I don't know whether that's what they were going for. I'm going to try the mezcal. So mezcal is, I think, I'm going to rummage the memory banks here. As far as I remember, all mezcal is tequila, but not all tequila is mezcal. Mezcal is specifically from one area in Mexico, and one of the defining features is that they dry the agave hearts. I'm gonna sneeze. Tequila makes me sneeze. They dry the agave hearts over a fire, so you get a much more smoky flavour. It's been interesting to see how the smoke comes through. Again, I'm not doing big measures on any of these, so it may be that longer drinks or different ratios. I'm kind of going about, I say a measure, I don't mean a measure, I mean like 1 unit. This is where talking about drinks mixing becomes quite difficult because all the words that you want to use for ratios are actually already used by the drinks industry. So it's one part spirits to about 2 to 3 parts cola. Again, all I'm getting is mezcal. Wow, that doesn't work. If you like mezcal, this is really nice. Because essentially it tastes like an enriched mezcal. But you can't really taste the Coke in there at all. Yeah, this is not going to be a go-to option. I think I've discovered there's a reason why I've never had tequila and Coke or mezcal and Coke before. I'm not sure that's a thing. But I could be wrong, so please tell me in the comments. Hydration is important. I'm going to give this spicy one last opportunity to redeem itself. That other suggestion was Scotch. My watch has just told me I can still do it. I don't know what it is. So, Shackleton's. This is a cool whiskey. Oh, wait. When I've done tastings on this, I've done a few tastings where I believe that a whiskey should sell itself on its own merits. A whiskey should be good enough purely on its own merits to be able to stand up without having to have a story behind it. Really good whiskies don't need a huge amount of marketing campaigns about why it should be good. It should just be good. This, I think, is good enough on its own. I haven't had it in a while. It's an interesting approach once you've had rum and bourbon and tequila and mezcal and then Scotch. But it's still nice. So Shackleton's whiskey is a recreation of the whiskey that Ernest Shackleton on his rather unsuccessful voyage, but still pretty important voyage, left behind. So they left, I think, 2 cases underneath a hut as they were trying to retreat. And it was found, the cases were found, I want to say 2014, but it might have been longer ago than that. A few of them being shown in a museum in New Zealand. And then one of them was shipped back to White & Mackay, which was a company that originally made, or White & Mackay have at some point bought McKinley's, who are the company that made the original whiskey for the trip. There it was tasted and they worked out how to make an approximation of that whiskey. So this whiskey is the closest thing that you can get to a 1907 whiskey. And it's just interesting looking at how whiskies have changed. Now, I don't know how accurate it is. I haven't tried the original. There are very, very few people who ever will have done. I have to assume it's accurate because that's the whole point. This is the first two iterations that came out were limited edition, and then this one's more on a standard run. But yeah, this is the recreation of 1907 Antarctic Expedition whiskey. And I really like it. I love being able to take this. I am that guy that goes to a dinner party and will take a whiskey and will tell people what's interesting about it before then drinking it. So if you've been to a dinner party with me, I'm sorry. I really am. Not that sorry. I'll still keep doing it. But that's why we've got this whiskey. So we're going to try and give this spicy a chance to redeem itself with the Scotch. That smells more like whiskey and Coke than the other two smelled like tequila and Coke. But maybe that's what tequila and Coke smells like. It tastes like whiskey and Coke. I just don't think I'm convinced on the spicy one. I wouldn't turn this down if I were offered it, but I think I'd go with the Smokey so far over this one. More water. Herbal, number 3. Hops, dill seed, lemongrass, and I want to go Greek on this and go with tagates. It could be tagetes. It could be tagetes. Yeah, hops, dill seed, tagetes. It sounds quite an interesting mix. By Antonio Naranjo. Again, I'll put the bar up. Herbal Coke. That smells medicinal. Like, almost towards Dr. Pepper. It smells a bit like old-fashioned pharmacies. I think it smells more like old-fashioned pharmacies than Dr. Pepper does, but that's what Dr. Pepper was originally trying to smell like. Like, that's interesting. I would have sworn there would have been mint in there. Like, there is, I guess it's the dill seed, but it smells kind of minty. Doesn't taste so minty. That's nice, that's refreshing. That is good. I like that one a lot. I think that beats the Smokey. Like, I'd drink that as a refreshing drink. This sounds more and more like an advert as I go on, but that genuinely is lovely. So for this one, they recommended Cognac and Scotch. I had a little bit of a panic because initially the only Cognac that I thought I had was this one, which is 25-year-old single cask. And I figured that probably wasn't the best one to mix with Coke. Like, I know I've gone with the small batch bourbon, but I think 25-year-old single cask Armagnac might be a little bit ridiculous. So, thankfully, I found, and I don't know where this has come from, I don't know if this is still available, Courvoisier VSOP exclusive. Must have bought this for something. Genuinely not 100% sure what I bought that for. Oh, that herbal is nice. So we've got the Cognac. Then the next one, they said Scotch, but I was trying to be clever, and I'm slightly worried I've been too clever. I was thinking about what might mix well with herbal and whiskey, and I went with a Hibiki. Hibiki 12, a Japanese blended whiskey. So I hope that will still work. I hope you'll forgive me. So, close equivalent to brandy and Coke. Herbal smelt nicer on its own. All I'm getting is licorice. Like, that is just... not a fan. Cognac, now, it might be, like, if you like licorice, that might be perfect. No, it still smells okay. I just had a moment, wondered whether it had gone off. Alcohol can go off. Like, spirits can go off. It's rare, and if you store them well, it's really rare, but they can go off. That one hasn't. Doesn't look like it has anyway. It doesn't smell like it has. So, Hibiki 12. Japanese blended whiskey from Suntory. Phenomenal. And prettiest bottle. Maybe not ever, but really pretty bottle. Like that a lot. I'm hoping this will redeem it. I want to like the herbal I really like on its own. That smells more like the herbal Coke did on its own. It's better than the Cognac. It's really nice. It just I think I prefer the herbal on its own. And that's definitely the better mixer. So definitely with that, I'd say whiskey rather than cognac, unless you really, really like licorice. Like, if you really like licorice, go with the cognac. More water, more hydration. On to the last one. Some of you may be rejoicing, thinking, thank goodness we're nearly over. Equally, it's YouTube. If you're thinking, thank goodness it's nearly over, you could have just left. And I suspect that I will see a complete bottoming out in the statistics. Literally as soon as I started talking about Coca-Cola. Let me know in the comments. I might put this actually at the beginning. Let me know in the comments if this is something you're interested in me doing more of, or let me know if you just clicked out of it as soon as you saw that it was a drinks Coca-Cola alcohol review. I'd just be interested to know. So please leave me a note and let me know whether you want me to do more of this or less of this. Coca-Cola signature mixers, they have decided to go back to an old-fashioned bottle. So you might have noticed this is not the contour bottle. This is not the curvy signature bottle that we have become used to. This is what they call their Hutchinson bottle, which is, again, I think 1896. I think it's quite cool. It's definitely trying to set itself apart. Very monochromatic labels. Yeah, they're trying to distance themselves from regular Coke in terms of how you use it as a mixer. So I do think it's quite interesting when you see brands, because they could have just come up with a different brand. Coca-Cola's done this in the past, where in order to sell a more bespoke product, they decide to distance themselves from their main brand and create a new brand to be able to create a more boutique product. The fact that they've stuck with just calling this Coca-Cola Signature Mixers shows that they really have belief in what they do in terms of they know Coke goes with alcohol. Let's just make better Coke that goes with alcohol. So, woody. I can't say that without thinking about Toy Story. Patchouli, balsam copaiba. Balsam copaiba. Basil, vetiver, yuzu. I have high hopes for this one. That's a good sound. Alex Lawrence. I'll put the bar in. It smells much better than it tastes. Maybe you just need to get used to it. I would say, in terms of the straightforward mixers, my favourite is the herbal. My least favourite is the spicy. Smoky and woody, I'd say it probably goes herbal, smoky, woody, spicy. I don't think I'd buy the spicy again. But the woody's okay. The woody tastes like... it tastes like independent cola. This is the one that tastes most like cola bottles, and all the things which say that they're cola flavoured but don't actually taste that much like cola. This is what that tastes like. So maybe that's just the most authentic cola flavour, and Coke isn't actually that authentic a cola flavour, but this tastes more like that. Yeah, I mean, we're not talking like Panda Pops cola. We're talking like good independent cola. Tastes a little bit like Karma Cola and all of those sorts of things. So with this one, they recommend spiced rum or bourbon. Now, I've already done a bourbon. I might try a bourbon with this. Spiced rum, we're going with Bacardi Carta Fuego. Don't think you can get this anymore. They did Bacardi Oak Heart. That might still be their main one. Or maybe they stopped doing Oak Heart and they did Carta Fuego. It's a Bacardi spiced rum. Spiced with tropical flavours and spices. Blend of flavour and natural spices. It'd be quite nice to actually be given some information as to what spices are in there. I'm sure if I look online I can find it. I'm getting a lot of kind of nutmeg, cinnamon, usual culprits. Mixers. No, you're just drinking the rum. It smells much nicer. This is probably one of the nicest smelling ones. This smells a little bit like Christmas. Really hope it tastes as good as it smells. No. But it's still good. Smells amazing. Yeah, it's disappointing that it doesn't taste as good as it smells. I suspect maybe with a different spiced rum, that could be really good. But that's got a lot of potential. You just need to find the right rum or water. Yeah, that's a shame. So, for the final one, before I give you my final thoughts, I've decided to go back to the origin, back to the Lagavulin 16 and Coke. I didn't just buy this just for this experiment. I have a fairly decent collection of alcohol. I'm not saying that to show off, that sounds like a weird flex. I have over the years collected quite a lot, so I haven't needed to actually go out. This is why things like the Noah's Mill and the Mezcal, some of the slightly odd choices, the 25-year-old Armagnac, stuff like that, this has just been collected over years, and I don't drink that regularly. I know this doesn't seem like it. I am aware of that. But yeah, so this is just a long collection. So I was gifted this. Tell me that's not a good sound. This is one of my favourite whiskies. Like I say, about 1 to 1. I'm really more excited than I should be that this is going to be good. I really hope it is. Oh, that's a happy place. Yeah, it's a happy place. I'm just going to sit and enjoy this for a little while. Quick summation. On their own, I don't know any of these beat regular Coke, except possibly the herbal one. That was really nice. You might get fed up of it after a while, but the herbal one is pretty good. Yeah, the herbal one is really good. The Smokey and the Woody, I think I'd buy again as kind of educational tools to show people what you can do. Probably buy the Smokey one over the Woody one, unless, like the Woody one with the Lagavulin, that's pretty special. Worst drink of the evening, tequila and spicy. Best drink of the evening that's not this one. Like, this is special, but I don't know that everyone will get it, will like this. But the rum or the bourbon with the smoky, that was good. The hibiki, I think the herbal on its own is actually better than the herbal with the other ones. But yeah, I hope that has been of some use. Genuinely, I love doing things like this. I love just going for a slightly different take on the vlogs that I do and different information and all those sorts of things. I'd love it if you subscribed. Equally, I suspect some people that follow me for the campervan stuff may have unsubscribed. We'll see. You could take these in a campervan. I'm just saying. We have a bottle of whiskey in our campervan. My best man is calling me. You're interrupting me filming a vlog about whiskey. How dare you? Say hello to the camera.
Hello, camera.
There you go. Perfect. Right. Phone calls and life admin done. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I can't remember exactly where I got to. I think I pretty much summed up. The one thing that I actually had a chat with Ian about what I was doing and what I was filming. And his question was, who are these for? Like, what's the market for these mixers? And I have to say, question stumped me a little bit. I'm sure the marketing team for Coke have a plan for exactly who these are for. Yeah, will they be something? I think I would buy possibly the Smokey, possibly the herbal, and I might have them as an alternative to a gin and tonic, particularly as we're coming into the winter. I probably wouldn't use any of the high-end alcohols. I can't see that they're going to be in a bar because each one is so specific. There aren't many bars that will carry all 4 different mixers. At home, I guess you can pick your favourite one and you can have that with your favourite mixer. So I'm not sure entirely what the market is, but if you've got any thoughts on that, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. If you've tried them, if you've had any particularly good combinations, let me know. I'd love to be able to see what you think of it. But yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad I did the experiment. I'm glad I tried them. I genuinely don't think I'll ever try tequila and Coke again. So that's also good to know. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you've got any comments, anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to ask, please pop them in the comments below. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be fantastic. As I said before, only about 4% of the people that watch my content are subscribed. So please, if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. And like the video if you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.